This is Kathleen Chiras from Buyer Agent Search by Skyfor, and today we are interviewing Cheryl Bauer, one of the top buyer agents in the San Francisco, California area. Cheryl has been with Buyer Agent Search since 2013 and has over 15 years of experience. She has an accredited buyer representative designation, the Certified Residential Specialist, the Graduate of Realtor Institute designation, the Senior Real Estate Specialist designation, and she is an E-Pro. She's an excellent buyer agent that we have recommended many times, and she also does listings, but we're focusing on the buying. Can you introduce yourself, Cheryl, and tell us your biggest motivation for being a buyer's agent?
Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for having me. I'm Cheryl, and one of the things I love most about my profession is helping my buyers navigate very complicated real estate in the San Francisco market. I love helping them find the perfect home and the property that'll be a perfect home, as well as a great long-term investment, because that's one way that we are all building our wealth is through the equity that we see in our real estate out in our marketplace.
Can you tell us, Cheryl, something interesting or unique about living in the San Francisco area?
So I was born and raised in San Francisco and moved to Burlingame 16 years ago. Burlingame is just 15 minutes out of the city. So I really have the best of both worlds. I'm still close to San Francisco and live in a community that's a little bit more slower paced and mellow. What I love about both communities is we're surrounded by water. We've got the Pacific Ocean on the west, and then we've got the bay north of San Francisco, as well as it comes down to the east side of the peninsula. We've got fantastic restaurants, culture, museums, art, and great sights to see, as well as amazing views in both areas.
Can you tell us, for those who are really not used to your market there, what is the median price of a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath home? We know San Francisco has a reputation for being kind of expensive, but why don't you give us the real stats of what's available in a 3-2 kind of situation?
So for both counties, San Francisco and San Mateo County, the median price for a single family home is about 1.6 million. Most people have sticker shock when they move out here from other parts of the country because we do have some of the most expensive real estate. And that's the biggest challenge that I see for buyers getting into our market is the price, as well as the amount of down payment, how hard it can be to save up 10 or 20% down to get into a property.
So if somebody were relocating from out of state, what kind of advice would you get them to prepare for a move to San Francisco?
So if someone is moving here from another area and they've never lived in the Bay Area, I'd highly recommend that they go into a short-term rental first, as opposed to trying to buy a home before they move out or as part of their move. For a couple of reasons, getting into a short-term rental is going to give them some time to get acclimated to our communities, doing research to figure out what is good fit, what matches their criteria. But it also, we still have a short inventory and high demand market. So it might take writing a few offers on different properties before we get an offer that's accepted. So my goal is to have as stress-free of a transaction as possible and experience as possible for my buyers. And I feel like having that short-term rental and us doing our research up front makes a big difference in the process.
Cheryl, can you give us a memorable recent experience of helping a buyer buy a property in San Francisco?
Yeah, so I have these great first-time buyers. We've been looking at single-family homes as well as multi-unit. They were thinking they'd live in one unit and rent out the other one so they have some rental income. which is a great strategy and one way to help offset our high cost of real estate here. So San Francisco is known for having very complicated real estate. We have TICs and condo conversion and rent control, and a lot of work is done without permits on properties. So through the process, they never got scared off by some of our unique real estate. I was able to get them into contract on a property that was not on their radar, 2-unit building, gorgeous views, with the protected tenant who was elderly and had no written lease. So the success here is they had no competition. Most buyers were scared off by the situation with this property. I saw the value in this property. I also knew that it was overpriced. So we were able to get them into contract for $130,000 under the list price, which was pretty stellar. And we've closed escrow. They're super excited at finally being homeowners. It's taken us a little bit of time to find the right property for them. And it's a great fit with the renters. So it's a win for everyone all around. So I'm super excited with being able to help them with that.
Well, let me ask you a quick follow-up question to that. We know that real estate agents get paid a percentage based on the sales price of the home. And yet in this case, you were able to get these people into a property for $130,000 less. So that cuts into your commission too. So why did you do that?
At the end of the day, for me, it's not about my commission. It's about doing a great job for my buyers, and my buyers knowing that I'm working hard for them to get them the best price possible. And it makes, I love negotiating a price under the list price whenever it's possible. It's pretty rare in our market since most properties are priced below market value to generate those multiple offers. But at the end of the day, it's all about serving the client, and it's not about the commission.
What do you do, Cheryl, to protect buyers who might come to you and hire you as their realtor? What are some of the things you do that protect them and their interests in buying property in San Francisco?
So I personally have been through litigation with the sellers of our property when we bought our home in Burlingame. I was not a licensed agent. That's what inspired me to get my license. So I've been through that process, and as a result, I'm very diligent and highly focused on the disclosures that sellers are providing us, as well as the inspections. In our market, it's a balancing act. We're trying to get an offer accepted with the fewest contingencies possible. But if that seller has not done thorough inspections, I'm definitely going to put an inspection contingency in, because I want to protect my clients and make sure they're not buying a money pit or something that's going to end up costing a lot of expense and stress later on in the process. So that's the first step. When we meet for initial consult, we're going to talk about disclosures and inspections and contingencies, as well as how to have an offer strategy where they're protecting their best interest, but also getting their offer accepted. And if we put in contingency in and the seller doesn't like it and they go to another buyer, that's just meant to be as part of the process. I'd rather us keep looking than them get into a property that they're gonna have expensive surprises on later on.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for coming to our interview series, and we will be certain to pass your name and contact information on to anyone who contacts us for a top quality agent in the San Francisco area.
Great, thank you, Kathleen.